Hey guys, this is Nick with the Rising Star Sports Group. Today I wanted to actually talk to you about how the coronavirus could bring fans back into pro sports games, especially. I think right now we're all wondering when sports are going to come back, and rightfully so, we don't really know. But I personally believe that sports teams can use this to their advantage to bring fans back to games. Over the past 10 years, ticket prices have gone up while attendance has gone down across multiple leagues, the NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, and some execs have actually talked about taking out seats and bringing attendance down to make more social areas, stuff like that. One team who has an arena was, right now they're at about 20,000 people, and he said that ideally in the future it'd be more like 15,000. And what does that mean for the consumer? To me, that means that there's going to be higher ticket prices because they're not just going to give 5,000 tickets away essentially without bringing that money back in. And I don't think that's good for sports fans. I really don't. I think there's a common misconception that people aren't coming to games because they don't enjoy them. And I personally don't think that's correct. I'm of the younger generation, my early 20s, that I think a lot of people consider only go to games for the social aspect or, aren't coming to games to watch the games. And I just don't think that's the right thing. I think we aren't coming to games because, quite simply, it's not affordable. And it's not affordable for families. So you're really pricing out a whole lot of people. And I think there's an opportunity for sports teams here to really bring back fans with this coronavirus happening. Because right now is an opportunity to really look at your business and say, we need to get back to the fundamentals of being affordable. The average NFL ticket is around $150. Secondary market, it's around $250. You look at a team like the Minnesota Vikings, it costs $100 to park. The average beer at a game is $10. Other food, $10, $15, $20 a person. It's just not affordable. Let's look at the secondary market because that's where a lot of people get their tickets. If a ticket is $250 and you have a family of four, there's no kids a discount on those 4 tickets. You're spending $1,000 just for the tickets alone, $100 to park, another $25 to $40 a person on food and drink. You're going to have to take it out alone just to go to a game, one game, not even multiple games. So I think sports teams really need to take this opportunity to reevaluate where they're at. I think they're trying to reinvent the wheel a little too much. Obviously, getting fans involved in the game is a great thing. Sponsorship activation, doing lots of things within a game to really get the fans involved is a really good thing. But I've been to a lot of sports games throughout my life and was at 5 different NHL venues just last year. And personally, when I looked around and just me, I watched the whole game from start to finish, but just looking around, I think who's there is pretty involved in the game. I think there's this, what I say is a misconception about people not wanting to come to the game because it's boring or what have you. I don't think that's true. I think that's based on teams overpricing their tickets and people stopped coming to games. And we see that, you can go through social media posts of all sorts of different teams about coming out with their ticket prices and fans, season ticket holders saying they're going to, I obviously don't know if they actually drop, but you see them all the time, ticket price constantly going up. I'm not coming back as a fan, especially when your team's not that good. People are naturally pretty fair weather, especially, and I don't blame them when they're taking out thousands of dollars to support your team that season. I don't blame them one bit for not wanting to be a season ticket holder to watch you lose every game. So, that is what it is. That's what sports are all about. And everyone wants to win, and I don't blame season ticket holders for dropping when the team isn't good and season tickets are rising every single year. So I believe that there are millions of people who would come to games at the right price. And, not everyone is going to be able to come to games at their price. That's not a realistic thing. There's lots of people that are only going to come to a Super Bowl game for $20, and that's not reasonable. But there is a reasonable price for a lot of people, and I think teams are getting away from that. We see a lot of teams going to more social areas for cheap tickets, putting in bars and such in different places. And I think while that's great for a certain set of people, I think it's not so great for others. Like a family of four, that's not a great plan. It's not a great plan to put, a family up in the 300s where there's no seats and a bar that you can sit at and watch the game on a TV instead of actually watching it with your own eyes. I don't think that's what families want. And I think teams are really abandoning who they should really be going after. I think if you want to look at the future of sports, you should be going after families and going after, I say that they are going after young people for their social areas, but how is that sustainable long term? Are young people really going to come to every single game to go to a bar and watch the game on a TV and not the actual game? I don't think so, and I don't think that's a good plan for the future. So I don't see teams doing a very good job of, like I said, planning for the future and what their fan base looks like long term. And I think this is an opportunity for them to do just that. And, I'm telling them to lower their ticket prices, which a lot of people don't want to hear. But at the same time, if they're already thinking about taking out seats and making it a more exclusive event, what's the difference between that and raising ticket prices or leaving them where they're at and lowering ticket prices and having 5,000 more people come to your game? It all equals out. And long term, it's a lot more sustainable because you're constantly containing and growing your fan base. And I think this is, to me, this is a real opportunity for teams. I think this is an opportunity for teams to say, hey, we care about our fans. We care about you. We want you back at our games. Obviously, when it's safe, they're going to have to do a lot of different things to, the dynamics are going to change. There's going to be some, especially right off the bat, different things that people are worried about that they may not have been worried about before, and that may go for an extended period of time. We really don't know what it's going to look like after this, but this is a team's opportunity. I'm telling you, if you're part of a sports team, and I'm telling sports teams right now, this is your opportunity to bring fans back to games, because right now you're pricing people out with NFL at 150 and 250 secondary market, $100 to park, $100 to eat, drink, whatever, is just not affordable. NHL games, NBA, both around 125 a person, plus parking, plus food and drink. MLB's a little bit cheaper because they have so many games. So it's, if you average out all those games for a season ticket holder, it's not a super great deal either. But at least MLB is a little bit cheaper because they've seen such a decline in attendance. I think they're the only sort of league that has their prices have been somewhat reasonable as attendance has dropped. Everyone else has gone a little crazy. You look at the Golden State Warriors, for example, their average ticket prices are absolutely insane. and that was because they were a good team. What's going to happen when those guys leave and they aren't a good team anymore? It's going to absolutely collapse. And I think teams need to look at that stuff long term. You're not going to be good every single year. And if you are, you're super lucky, and that's good for you. But most teams aren't good every single year. And as those ticket prices go up and up and up, you start pricing out more and more and more. And then when your team collapses, all those people who are paying top dollar aren't coming anymore. Those are the first people that are going to hop off and not come to your games. So why not take care of the people that would come to games no matter what the price is, no matter how your team is, if it's at a good price? And that's what I'm telling teams they should do right now to take advantage of the coronavirus situation, and not necessarily take advantage of it, but just give back to fans what they deserve, because fans are what keep sports going. Pro sports need the fans to make money. And I'm saying as a fan myself, for everyone else out there, I'm asking sports teams, and someone who worked in sports. I worked in sports for 4 years. I understand how it works. I understand how the business and the fan side of it works. So I'm telling sports teams right now that they can get their fan bases back and keep them long term if they truly care about them. Thanks for watching. I made a couple blog posts about this on my Rising Stars Sports Group blog, rssportsblog.com. Please subscribe. We got lots of great content videos coming up. Love to hear your opinion on this matter. I think a lot of fans feel differently about stuff, but I feel like this is one where there's really consensus on. I think lots of people think that tickets are overpriced, and they feel that they aren't included. So I'd love to hear from you, and if you agree that those sort of misconceptions are true to you or not.